People are going to tell you what worked for them and their own life and their own experiences, but that's not necessarily going to work for you. My name is Victoria Azubuike. I am the founder of SheWho.
How did you develop your why? Like, where did it come from?
I love helping women. I love helping women to be the best that they can. I love sharing advice. Tony Roberts, like, he has a famous quote that, like, in 10 years, you will surely get there. But the question is, where?
Yeah, that's a great quote. Hi, Victoria.
Hey, Jade, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm so excited to be on your podcast.
I'm so excited. I'm so glad you made the effort to come because I love doing the face-to-face ones. I love all the video content. I love seeing someone, but also it's effort, ain't it?
Yeah.
So,
but I never knew actually before this, right, that people can do podcasts like over the. No, I like seeing people.
Oh yeah, I would much rather see people. But you know, it's cold, it's dark out, so not everyone wants to come. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, true. I love it. My whole business is events, so I see people.
Of course. Yes, you're like a people person.
I love it. I love people.
Oh, I love that. Okay, well, we're going to get into all of that. Before we do, can you give us an introduction into who you are and just tell us a bit about your business?
Absolutely. So my name is Victoria Azubuike. I am the founder of SheWho. So I love everything helping women be the best version of themselves when it comes to like building actually their dream lives, businesses and brands through everything I have experienced through my own journey, but also the community I have. So I try to create events, products, services, digital experiences, digital products for them. So yeah, everything just like us women being like, we're amazing. So I love it.
We are.
We are. We are. Yes, so cool.
Okay, so I definitely want to dive into your business, your events that you do. Like, I've done events before and they are no joke. So I've already done some digging into your events and I'm like, how are you doing it? So I can't wait to hear about that. Can you take us back a bit? So take us to a time when you didn't have your business and maybe you had the idea. What was going on there? Where were you at in your life? How did you make the decision to start?
Absolutely. So I was thinking about this actually just recently. I was just ponder. So it's really interesting. So when I was, I think like in year 6, right? I think that's like, I don't know, like elementary school as well. I like remember looking back in like one of my books and it was like, I want to have a successful clothing brand business. And like now looking back and I even like picked up a letter that I wrote to myself in 2011. And it said like, I just really want a successful business.
Oh, I love that.
And I just looking back now, like I've always just loved, like I've loved being in charge of things. I've loved like the whole aspect of creating something and like profiting off that or making money from that or providing something that people need. And I love like kind of giving advice. So it's really interesting because even before my business, like me and my sisters, we would have a cake store in our estate because we were broke. We were broke. And our mom wouldn't give us money. Oh my dad. So we would literally sell cakes on the weekends.
I love that. You would make these cakes yourself as well. It wasn't just like a hustle. Because I feel like one of my friends used to do that and they would just, look at you, you're like,
well, look, we used to get up. Let me tell you. So I was, how old was I? Let's say I was around 10. I was 10 years old. We were so disciplined. Every Saturday, 8 a.m., we get our trolley and we'd go to Sainsbury's. Like 8 a.m. we would like, literally
on a schedule. And sorry, how old are you at the
like
time?
10.
That is so funny.
Literally would get ours. Everything was already made because I couldn't. But then as we progressed, we'd make like our own cupcakes. But I was never that great at like making cakes. So my sisters, I would like give them that responsibility. And my mom would always complain, you guys are messing up the oven. You never want to shit. But we started off and like we would be so disciplined. Like the cake store would be from 1:30 to 4 p.m. every Saturday.
Wow.
From January, no, it was too cold in January. April to like November.
Wow.
Then November we would do Christmas caroling to December. And then when it was hot, we would sell ice lollies.
Oh my gosh. You had like a full operation. It was seasonal. You were adapting and you were 10 years old.
Yeah, 10
that is
to
so
like
impressive.
year 10 to like, I think I want to say year 9 maybe.
Oh wow, so you did it for a while as well.
We did it 4 years and we were so disciplined. We would never spend any money. Like I would have a cake store book. I wish I could still find that book. I mean, my sisters always say, I would like tick people's name off, who came late, what time people came.
No.
And we would save all our money until, because again, we had no money growing up. We would save all our money until Christmas. Then on Christmas, we would go Primark and buy ourselves Christmas
Oh,
presents. Wrap it up and be surprised.
Oh my
On Christmas
God.
Yeah, like buy all these £1 presents.
I love, like, I love stories like this. Like, it really just shows, first of all, you know, this whole nature versus nurture conversation. Like, are you born a certain way or you raised a certain way? And I never know which way I land, but it's so fascinating, like, listening to stories where someone clearly had the makings of becoming a successful entrepreneur when they're literally 10 years old. Also, the fact that you were literally manifesting a successful business before did you know what manifestation was? Like,
No, I need money.
Isn't it?
I'm broke. And I loved clothes when I was younger. So I need to make something. We were so broke. So it's just like, no.
Yeah.
But you girls, you don't know what these words are.
No.
But you just...
I was just going to say, you don't know what these words are, but like, it's so fascinating that you were basically doing the practice of it already. Yeah. Like, you didn't know what it was, but you were smart enough to clock on that this was something that you wanted and you were putting it out there. I used to also want a clothing business, and I actually tried a couple times, to be fair. First time did not work. I ended up just wasting. I got a bonus. It was the first time I ever got a bonus from a job, and it was like maybe £200 or something, and I spent it all on clothes and then wasn't smart about it. I was like maybe 19 or something. I just bought a bunch of clothes. Like, I should have got samples, but you know when you're just excited and I'm like, oh my God, I got so much money, I can finally buy it, and it was all crap, and then I couldn't sell it. It was all crap. And it was just in my house for like 10 years, and my mum was like, I'm gonna get rid of this now. I was like, okay.
But the fact you did it, that's the thing, you did it, and that's what really matters, because you learn. This is probably not for me. Stuff. I've had so many failed business.
Same. Yeah. So it all gets us to where we are now. At the time, you don't want to hear it though. Yeah. You know, people are like, oh, it's going to get you there. And everyone has the stories of their failed businesses. But at the time, you're like, don't tell me that. I want this one to work. Literally. But it does. Okay. So you have these makings of becoming a successful entrepreneur. And then you get to the point where you're like, because how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
No, I turned 27 yesterday.
Oh my God, happy birthday. Are you a fellow Scorpio? It was my birthday like 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
two Scorpios in the booth.
I love November, baby.
Oh my God, I love November. It's also such a great month.
I love November.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that I know in business are born in November.
Really?
A lot.
Yeah. To be fair, almost all my friends are born around this time of year. It's a thing. Anyone listening to this who's not born around this time of year is going to be like, wow.
No, you're so amazing.
You're still great. You're still great. Okay, so you're 27. So when did you start your business? How old were you? This one specifically.
So this is very interesting because this business has gone through so many iterations. So I probably 19 when it was like the first concept of events.
Right, okay.
So, but that was geared at helping young women. As in, I was always creating events essentially for my age group. So when I was 19, it was mainly for, you know, young girls who are about to go to university or, you know, figuring out what they want. And that was really about mentorship.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
Like, providing like inspirational role models, which we still kind of, but it's very different now. So that was called US Program.
Okay.
So that was the first conception.
Right, okay.
And then US Program turned into the US Group.
Great.
2 years ago when I quit my corporate job.
Right.
That was the second conception. And that was mainly recruitment because, you know, when I would have these events, I just think at this time, I did like around 10 events.
Right.
And it went from like my youth club events, like 100 women, all the way up to like I was working with like the Mayor for London.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mayor for London team, Google. But what I tracked throughout all of these events really was that the women, the young girls who were coming, it was just like, they left inspired, they left like amazed. But what's the byproduct of that? What do people go on to actually do? And like job creation and opportunities like, was the most important thing. Like people were coming and it'll be sometimes interesting, like people would get jobs at my event,
my gosh,
which is so amazing. But I was just like, I can like turn this into a service because there's a need here. So then I decided to create the US Group, which was like recruitment events. I've worked with like the likes of Total Jobs and I've placed like women in like different companies, and that was all like the fact of like you come to these events and recruiters are like, there's recruiters there looking for jobs.
Yeah.
So this was like the last 2 years.
Wow.
But I've always been so passionate about business. Like that's what I love. I live, breathe, think about like all the time. So I was thinking like when I quit my job, it was tough because I was by myself a lot, right? So my sisters actually do also have a hair business, but I felt like so a lot of the experiences was very different to a service-based business. And I would feel like I want to connect with more women who are like me. So I would host dinners, the collective dinners, which I loved. And I did about 3 dinners, which I really enjoyed. And then I just stopped because I wasn't sure. And I felt like focus is always so big for me with business. And I was just a bit confused. Am I focused? Am I doing too many different things? I kind of stopped that. And then this year, that's when I started our SheWho Builds events. And that started firstly in the States. But what's so interesting that since, I think it's coming up to 7 years of events. The first event was at my youth club and it was called SheWho Leads. And now that's now my brand, SheWho.
Yeah.
So we've gone on like every event is SheWho. So we had SheWho Leads, SheWho Wins, SheWho Dreams, and now it's like SheWho Builds. That's like the main, and SheWho Elevates are like the main, events that I run with. So it's nice to really see like there is a journey of figuring out, trying, going again, feeling like, is this gonna work? Like taking a break from it as well. But it's always like what I love. It's a mixture of everything I love.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, I've got so many questions for you. So first of all, your last job, what was it, if you don't mind me asking?
No, absolutely. So I was in education technology, which is amazing because it was a recruitment company.
Yeah.
So think like the Uber for supply teachers, right?
Oh.
So really interesting because I went on to start a recruitment business.
Yeah.
And even like one of my internships, because I've never had things the normal way. Like I was never the smartest at school. I have severe dyslexia. So never the smartest in school. Never got the internship straight away. And I think this is so important because I feel like there may be people listening to this and feel like I never get opportunities or things happen to me. I've never like gone through a straight path, never got an internship straight away. I've always had like weird ways of getting internships. And one internship I did my first year or second year was at an executive search company, which is recruitment. So all of these recruitment experiences helped me with starting their recruitment events. But it's like I never knew at the time. It's just hindsight looking back.
How everything just kind of falls into place. But yeah, you're never aware of it at the time. You don't know why things are happening. And then in hindsight, you're like, okay, no, I can see.
This makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so you quit your job. Why did you decide to quit? Like, where was you at with your business?
So I don't think it's so interesting. Like, I don't think I had like a real proven model. But just one thing about me is I just know myself, right? I'm very self-aware. And I think this is like so important to know what you can take, what you can handle. Firstly, in the previous job, so I jumped from job to job to job. I'll be at a job for maximum a year.
Yeah, I would.
And then,
maximum. Be like, cool, see you later.
Like, this is not for me no more. And I would always do things on the side, always do things at the side. And I just felt like this is not the path for me. This is like not the path. And so, I was jumping. And I would also ask myself a few questions. Number one, can I see anybody in this organization? Can I see myself progressing to a role that anyone has? Never know. Like if I was asked, like, do you want to be promoted? It was like, no, no.
Don't give me more work.
Yeah, don't give me more work, because one thing I do think is that I respected the authority that I was in. Like I always tried to do my best. Even though I was working on things on the side, like I always tried to just do my best. Even if I didn't care about the job, like I just feel like I owe it. Like, I've contracted with someone. So, but I can't see myself progressing. Not because not taking on the work, but just because.
You just don't want the role.
That is perfectly. I don't see myself in here, and I'll just be so annoyed. Like, no, like, like that person is better and stuff. Yeah. I'll like always run away from stuff. Like, and I was just like, this is not the story I should be writing for myself. My story evolves, which I can. I have high risk tolerance.
Do you? I'm so jealous of you. I would say mine is like medium.
I can take crazy risk.
Really?
But the flip side on that is just what that can do to me sometimes. It means sometimes like you won't see me for weeks because I have to like follow through, or I have to like like sometimes not even my mental health, but like the pressure. That's the pressure that I put on myself. Like I'm constantly breaking out like in my face or just myself. Because it's the stress of that decision.
Do you think you thrive like that? You know, some people like put themselves in that position, but it's because they actually thrive under that amount of pressure.
I just think it's because I know the vision I have.
Yeah.
In life, the vision God has given me. So
Yeah.
I know the steps I need to take. And I know, like, if I'm telling the story, it can't be what people do. My life has never ever been straightforward or normal. Like, every opportunity I've got, it's never been like I've applied for a job, went through 7 stages and I want it. No, I've had to email someone to get it. I had to send 200 emails and then I get an internship. I've had to like network with someone, then I get to go to LA and work with it. So I've never had things the normal way. So I always think like, how can I expect my life to continue the normal way? So I'm just like, like, I need a bit of like risk. But it's great. Like mine, I don't know if I would recommend it, but it works for me. It works for me.
What would you say the biggest risk is that you've taken in your journey?
Ooh.
That you could share.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let me think. I think definitely like one of the risks was like my most recent event in the States, right? I invested a lot in that event and I knew no one.
Wow.
I think I personally like 6,000 went in. I knew no one. So I was like, this best work. Like I have to make sure it works because like
yeah. You've invested your money.
I've invested my money, but I literally knew no. So the thing is I have no social proof. And that's like society and all the business books would tell you that's ludicrous. And you're like, what are you doing? But like that's unconventional wisdom, right? And that's why sometimes I'm really careful about the advice I give because I feel like my advice
doesn't work for everyone.
It cannot.
But no one's advice does. And I think it's more dangerous if someone presents it like it does. If someone says like, look, this is the way I did it. Everyone should do it this way because this is the only way. And it's just never the case, you know?
That's so good.
Yeah.
Even in my ebook, that's one thing I've really had to realize for myself. Like I used to rely on a lot on people's opinions. Maybe it's growing up as like the eldest daughter and I just like always try to seek approval from everyone. It's just like, no, people are going to tell you what worked for them.
Yeah.
And their own life and their own experiences. Everything is based on people's experiences, people's convictions, but that's not necessarily going to work for you.
Yeah.
And like one person I used to always think about, there's a few like entrepreneurs who really stand out. Like even like the founder of Calendly, he said,
oh yeah, I really like him. I feel like I can't remember if it was an article or something that I read about him. I'm trying to think, but you go.
No, he like invested 200 and I think he invested all of his IRA. Like what did he invest all of his life savings in the app? And he had no like and everyone was he was like, this is unconventional wisdom. And he did it.
Yeah.
And look, it's like 4 billion now. So again, like I try to present I don't know, I think where I am in my stage of life, I just don't want to say something and it's like, no, this works for me or this is what I'm gonna do. I will always share what has worked well.
Yeah.
I literally say to everyone, this is not going, just because it worked for me doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. But yeah, definitely my event in America.
Yeah.
And even my upcoming event. Like I had like, even for planning this, I just had enough to buy my flight tickets. And I literally had didn't have a lot for money for like the venue. I didn't have a lot for like my everything. But like the next day I go speaking gig that covered the whole event. So it's just
I love it when things like that happen. I'm like, this is how I know I'm making the right decisions when stuff like that happens.
Exactly. So it's just, but the risk I take is just, I know where I need to go and I know the story I need to tell, that I want to tell. And this has to be part of it.
Yeah. How do you, because I feel like what you're kind of describing is like your why. It's like your North Star, it guides you. And I talk about this a lot with people, especially when it comes to like content creation, because if you don't have the why, then you're stuck looking at the metrics and you get sad if something doesn't go viral. But really, if you know why you're creating content, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if something goes viral or not. As long as one person sees it, then you're still like on track. How did you develop your why? Like, where did it come from? Because you seem like such a motivated, like determined person. I feel like anyone listening is going to be like, how do I be like that? Do you know what I mean?
I feel like it's so interesting to like come on these podcasts and like, you know, share like how everything's going amazing, how thingy, not share like 2 days ago the way I threw my phone across to my bed because I'm just like, what is going on? Or like the breakdown I had like, you know, a few weeks ago. Like that's easy. But what keeps me going definitely is my wife for life.
Yeah.
And that I've just always, I think, you know, being the oldest daughter, the work I've done so far is like, I've always been passionate, women, like just, I don't know what, like, I just feel like I love helping women. I love helping women to be the best that they can. I love sharing advice. That fulfills me in a different kind of way. So if I can develop a business around that, like that has the same, because I literally, there's been so many times I've wanted to quit. So many times I have other business ideas and I feel like this will take off. This would be better, right? Straight away. But then one thing I'm learning is that whatever you put effort in, it can work. It will work.
Yeah.
If you're just ready to iterate and you're ready to keep on like trying different things, if other people are doing what you're doing, right? I honestly think sometimes it's literally a case of like staying in the game, iterating, not being disheartened. But you know, I think it's called the valley of the dead. Yeah, the valley of the dead. It's like there's this entrepreneur cycle, and it's like at the beginning, everyone loves it, everyone's so excited, and then you go and it's like, no, this
Yeah. And then you reach the proper bottom, you're like, what am I doing? What's going on?
That's where everyone quits. But it's like, if you keep on going, you'll go back up.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's like that, that's a far better explanation. But you know that, like, I don't know if it's a meme or what, it's that picture of the two miners and they're underground. And then I don't know why that one stuck with me so much because it's such a cartoon. But there, for anyone listening who can't read my mind, one of the miners is literally about to strike gold or get a diamond or something, but gives up and turns around. And then the other one just continues. But it really sticks with me, stuff like that. And I couldn't agree with you more. A lot of the time when it comes to your business idea, and even when I think back to my previous businesses, any of those could have worked. I gave up too soon. I got too disheartened. I also was very emotional about it because I was like very young and like, oh, one person gave me bad feedback. Oh my God, the whole thing's rubbish. It's like any of those businesses could have worked if I stuck with it and I dedicated and committed myself to trying different things and actually learning and improving it. Like any of that could have worked. I'm glad it didn't because I'm happy where I am now. But you know, any of it could have worked. All right, so you
can I just add to that?
Go.
And I feel like Gary Vee was like really preaches on this, like, which I love, is there's one thing we lack, right? There's a few things, but I think with our generation, because of like this TikTok and Instagram, so we expect everything to happen like patience. Like even someone like my sister was telling me like, oh, you're 27, you're so old. I'm just like, I feel so young. Like I have so much clarity.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is what is problematic.
Yeah.
Like when we should really be like looking at life, like, can I do this for the next 5 years? Can I see myself really committing to this? I say like, if you hit year 3, right, or something, and you still, that's what you love and that's what you know you want to do. It's about looking at different strategies of maybe changing it. Tony Robbins, like he has a famous quote that like in 10 years, you will surely get there. But the question is where?
Yeah, that's a great quote.
It's like where?
Yeah.
You can get anywhere, but you need to understand it's not 1 year. It could be sometimes 10 years. It could be 11.
Yeah.
Like if you stay in the game for that long and you love what you do, it's really a matter of time.
Yeah, I completely agree. Especially your point about the instant gratification. That's so true, isn't it? And it is mostly due to social media because we also see the odd person who just strikes gold and they are on YouTube or something for 2 months and then they become like Emma Chamberlain. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't happen to everyone though. And then everyone they think it's because then their content's not good or they're doing something wrong because they've not blown up yet. And I'm like, that's just not how this works. And when I talk to other generations, like my mum's generation, she's always like blown away when I explain things like that and how quickly people expect to kind of receive things from their effort. And she's always so blown away from it. She's like, I would dedicate about 10 years before I expected to see something. Like, that's just the way the different generations work, you know?
And that's why like, I feel like the businesses that like are, or just people that are doing super well, like, I feel like there's a track record. There's always the fight you can see. And I feel like really be careful if you expect yourself to grow. Because the thing is like anything easily like gained is easily lost. You don't value it.
Yeah, that's so true.
And remember longevity. Do you want to blow and then you don't know what to do with it? Then you're scared and you're having so many anxiety attacks. Like you're anxious. Or do you want it to be a path where actually you have laid the foundation to get here?
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes, like, remember longevity. Do you want to still be relevant, or do you still want people to understand what you do and who you're about in 5 years? Or do you want to be like, oh, like, imagine all the people you used to watch on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
And you think, like, where are they now?
Yeah.
But some people who are like the big stars now, when they were like 10 years ago, they were just only starting. But now they're able to stay. So yeah. I always think about that. Like, who do I still see from Nickelodeon?
Yeah, that's actually
Disney
such a good
Channel.
point. It's such a good point. I actually can't really think of hardly anyone, especially Nickelodeon. I feel like I've not thought about that in ages.
I just think maybe even, what's it called? The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Oh yeah. I feel like I missed that. Not missed it. I was like, because I'm like 4 years older than you, so I feel like there's like very specific genre, like times with Disney, because it was Disney, right?
Yeah.
With Disney shows, like what was my one?
Or Zac Efron.
Zac Efron, yeah, but even High School Musical, I feel like I was slightly too old for. I don't even know what I used to watch. Kim Possible. Did you used to watch Kim Possible?
Okay, Kim Possible.
I used to watch Kim
but
Possible.
That was an animal, though. No.
That was cartoon.
Yeah.
But I can't think of, like That's So Raven.
Yes.
That's So Raven. I can't even think of other ones though.
Simone, yeah.
And like Sister.
Sister, they've killed it. Because now like, they're popular. Like, they're doing so well on like Instagram Reels and stuff.
Yeah, and they're like on daytime TV and like, they really made. But then on the flip side, Keenan and Kel, where are they?
Yeah.
Did you watch Keenan and Kel?
Yeah, but I don't know where they are.
No, so apparently they're doing like, I think there was supposed to be do you know they had a movie Good Burger?
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a new movie of Good Burger.
Oh, wow.
And they came, sorry guys, there's a fly in front of me. They came out and announced it like a year ago, but I've not heard anything since, but they don't do anything. But what a good comparison, like Sister and Keenan and Kel, and like what happened there.
That's the thing though. Like, I always think, you don't want to be like those people that say the what happened now. Where are they now? Where are they now?
Yeah, you don't.
I don't care if you want to explode straight away, just think about that. And even if you do, like tomorrow you become, just think about longevity in the game.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the important.
I agree. So I do want to change pace a bit, just for the last bit, because you've done such a great job at building an engaged community, and you do these events and people show up and people pay tickets and all this stuff. How? How have you gone about that?
Oh my gosh. I live, breathe, eat events. I love, for me, like on social media, right? I love, if people follow me, right, they know I will literally show everything, right? There's certain things I don't show too much, right? Like my own personal, but like in general, if I'm going on holiday, I'm going to show you my outfits. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to show you what I do. I love showing and bringing people on experiences, right? And I just love just creating moments for women, essentially. So for me, I feel like that has really what has fostered my events.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be like a space where like a woman can come and she can just forget about everything. Everything for those 6 hours that she's there, and she literally just feels like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, this is just what I needed. And that literally keeps me up at night. Or that literally is what I think about constantly. How can I make this a moment for her to remember? Like, how can I make sure that I or someone else like will be helped in this? Like, I put so much time, I pray so much about it, and I think like, what can I do? What else? There is more. What else can I be doing? So for me, it's the how do I do it? This is what I love. Like, this is what I love. I like creating unique moments for women. I love creating those experiences that they can come and they can pull out their phone and they enjoy it. So yeah. And I've always just kind of like showing stuff in general.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I had a jewelry business at one point, and the thing I loved about that was my launch night. I did like collaboration on my birthday, and that was the most fun part. Planning the event, selling the jewelry, and the hand modeling. I'm like, no.
Yeah. That's a big clue as to what you should be doing, isn't it?
I love the whole, like, I will like think about sound, visuals, the moments, what's the theme, what's the aims, like what does a woman need to come and get? So yeah, and then I just think like I just always communicate like my why with my audience. constantly for my events. And naturally, I'm just quite energetic. So I love to kind of show that through my events. Like each event, no two events are the same. Like if you're coming to a SheWho event, you're in for a treat, but you just know that like it's not the same as like an event. There might be similar things, but like I'm always constantly thinking about new things. And I also think that like once I've done one event, I'm just like, okay, next event needs to be 15 times.
Yeah. You're always looking to improve. Yeah. So then so it sounds like because you are so great at sharing, you know, your life and your journey with your audience, you've built this great engaged audience as well. And would you say that your guests are mostly from that pool of people? Because, you know, you mentioned you did your event in America and you didn't know anyone over there. How did you get your people to even know about your event? Is it all organic content? Do you do paid ads?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, go. No, I'm done.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I definitely think one thing I've learned with I think social media, right? It's really important to feel like you belong somewhere and build a community. So I've realized more and more, actually, I've kind of always been someone, maybe again, like being the oldest daughter, where it's just like I don't need people sometimes, right? Like I just struggle to even like ask for help a lot. And something I'm getting better at. But I've realized if I really like and I say this constantly, no woman can do life alone. Like no one can do life alone. So you need people. And like, you know, when I'm looking at growing in different regions, right, there's women there killing it already. So I just think like, how can I reach out to them? Or how can I make sure that like, you know, they know how to speak to their audience? Like I know in general, like I know the people I can reach out to. I know how I speak. I know who will be engaged with me, right? But I know that I may not be able to speak to a certain demographic or a certain age group or a certain set just right now. In general, I think I do a good job with speaking to a broad range, but there's someone that could speak to someone better. So why don't I bring them on board and, you know, they can share an opportunity with their audience as well. And then with the America event, it was definitely a lot of, the speakers were just phenomenal. Like they shared it a lot with their audience. They really shared the value. They were so excited about the event. And same here. But like they really helped me. I had like a 12 of them. So 12 incredible women. So they really helped me. And then amongst that, make sure we were all on like, you know, different event platforms and ads as well really helped as well, targeting it there. But I really think like it's so important to understand that you can't just do it like by yourself. Like there's a whole strategy that goes in, but the biggest one is like having really great speakers who care. And you can see if someone cares because it's not about followers. I've had big like people with big communities on. I've had people with, you know, medium, with small, and it is so interesting to see who can bring people.
Really? I bet it's the small to medium. Not all the time, but I know what you mean. And I've had a similar experience.
Because I've seen how if you're engaged with your community, you may not even have like, you know, may not have a lot of followers, but people will show up and show out for you. Because they will support you. They believe you. They listen to you. You help them. So like, they want to help you. But they want to see you as well. They don't want to keep on looking for a screen.
They want the opportunity to meet. What I'm getting from what you're saying, amongst so many other things, is just like how important collaboration and relationships are, which is obviously something you're really good at fostering. So I think this is a great segue to wrap up by you telling us about your next event so that people can find other people to network and collaborate with.
I love this. So I'm really excited, so excited for SheWho Builds London. That's going to be coming. It is on the 16th of December, and literally everything you've said, Jade, collaboration and community and networking. The truth is, again, like I've mentioned already, we cannot do life alone. It is too hard. But also, there's going to be some rooms that you want to enter that it's not about what you know. Never. It's always going to be around who you have around you that will help you get into new spaces, number one. Number two is that you need a support system. Because this life is way too hard to do by itself. And you'll be surprised at having, you know, a strong support system. People will, you know, support you. People will help you. Even what you may have struggled with doing, like someone can fast track that process for you. quicker. And like, that's what is really important. It's that support system, it's community, but it's also, I feel like there's events for everything. Like if you want to go to the club tonight, you know where to pull up. But what about the events for like women who want to have a good time, enjoy themselves in a great space, but then at the same time, you're learning, you're actually gaining the motivation. And what better time now before the new year, right? This is the time where so many of us are reflecting how the year's gone and planning ahead. And this is exactly what this event is here to do. We're going to reflect together. We're going to strategize together. We've got 9 incredible speakers from all different fields, from CEOs to the head of SEO from Wix, who's going to be, joining us. And then I'm going to be sharing so much on like actually how to gain clarity for the new year, because I think that is key. So many of us just go year by year by year, but actually, how are you strategically making sure that you are getting your goals, you're pushing yourself further? So I want to share my framework that I've picked up like this year, and just I've got so many surprises for London. Like I've got so many surprises, and just give ourselves a reason to celebrate who we are as women in a safe space. And it's just so exciting. It's so nice just to see already the excitement, the energy. And I want to share this as well, that with events like this, sometimes people miss out because they feel like I can't go because I don't have no one to go with. And if that is the reason why you're missing out, you need it even more than that. And that is another reason why you have to show up in these spaces, because sometimes it's about pushing yourself to, even when you're not comfortable, because these spaces will allow you, and they're safe. And it's like, well, my event is definitely, I'm doing a lot to really make sure that if you're coming by yourself, in particular, you were supported, and and there's a lot of people that are coming, to be honest, the majority are coming by themselves, but yeah, you can also come with friends as well. But there's going to be something for everyone. So it's going to be so amazing. We've got by the time this comes out, like 3 weeks.
You'll have like 2 weeks?
Yeah. Less than 2 weeks to go. And I just can't wait. It's going to be great. These flies are annoying.
I know, they're always up in my face. I mean, it's going to be amazing. The way you speak about it so passionately, I think it's so obvious to anyone listening that you are pouring your heart into these events. So if you're listening, don't worry, I'm going to put some links in the description so you can get your hands on the ticket and just get a chance to experience it yourself.
Thank you so much. And it is on the 16th of December. Tickets are available at SheWho.co, and not com. And we've got so much lined up as well for everyone coming. It's going to be really a day for us to remember before the new year starts.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out. Like, what an amazing conversation. I feel very, very lucky that you reached out and we managed to connect. So thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, honestly, this has been amazing, guys. You are amazing. And yeah, I'm so excited as well. But yeah, thank you.
Thanks, hon.